with a white van. Not the creepy, rust-covered cliché people joke about online, this one was clean, nondescript, even kind of new. Parked across from 16-year-old Maya's house for 3 days straight. Same spot. No license plate. At first, Maya's mom thought it belonged to one of the construction workers 2 streets over. But construction ended on Monday. It was Thursday. On Friday morning, Maya noticed the condensation on the windshield was only on the outside, someone was inside, breathing. She told her mom. Her mom told the police. Probably just a neighbor's contractor, the officer shrugged, barely looking up from his tablet. We'll swing by if we have time. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. Every time she passed her window, the van was there. She started keeping a tally in her notebook. Day 5. Still there. No movement. No noise. Then, things escalated. She got a text from an unknown number. Don't worry. We won't take you tonight. Her stomach dropped. She showed her mom, who called the police again. They traced the number. It was a burner. Untraceable. Her mom wanted them to stay in a hotel for the weekend. But when they packed and tried to leave the driveway, the van pulled forward just enough to block their path, then sat there. Engine off. Maya's mom honked. Nothing. She tried to reverse, but as she turned the wheel, the van doors opened, not fast, not like in a movie, but slowly, like the people inside had all the time in the world. 2 men stepped out. No masks. Smiling. Her mom floored it onto the lawn, swerving around the van, nearly hitting the mailbox. They made it to the hotel. But that night, Maya woke up at 3:14 a.m. The hotel phone was ringing. She picked up, heart pounding. A man's voice, flat and calm. Hotels have side exits, you know. She screamed. Her mom called the police again, this time, they took it seriously. Officers were stationed outside the hotel. They stayed for the rest of the night. No sign of the van. The next morning, the van was gone. But their front door at home was wide open. Not broken into, just unlocked. And Maya's notebook was lying on her bed. One new entry had been written in it. Day 9. So close now. They moved. Changed names. Got a new number. Hired security. Still, sometimes Maya thinks she sees that white van in reflections, passing in a storefront window, turning a corner in her rearview mirror. Her mother says it's just paranoia. But the other night, someone texted her again. We remember.
The robbery only lasted 7 minutes. The police told me that. 7 minutes. I wasn't home when it happened. I was out for groceries, probably holding a basket of eggs while someone in a black hoodie shattered my bedroom window and stepped into my house. They took the usual stuff, a laptop, my camera, an old iPhone, a little cash. Nothing sentimental, nothing irreplaceable. The police said I was lucky. People lose far more. But something wasn't right. It started small. The kind of thing you second guess. A shirt I never wear, folded differently. A coffee mug not quite where I left it. My desk chair turned slightly toward the window like someone had been sitting there. Watching. I told myself it was paranoia. Trauma, maybe. Getting robbed makes you feel vulnerable, exposed. That's all. Then came the dreams. They started a week later. I'd wake up sweating, the sound of glass breaking still ringing in my ears. In the dream, I was home when it happened. I heard them come in. I could see their silhouette in the hallway. But when I tried to scream, I couldn't move. Couldn't speak. Just watched the shape drift into my room and stand over me breathing. One night, I woke up for real and the bedroom door was wide open. I always close it. Always. I started checking the locks every night. 3 times. Sometimes 4. I pushed a chair under the doorknob like I'd seen in movies. I stopped sleeping in my bedroom altogether. Moved to the couch. Kept a kitchen knife under the pillow. My friends said I should see someone. Trauma can make the brain do weird things, they said. So I got a therapist. She listened to everything, nodded, wrote things down, but she said something that chilled me. You mentioned they didn't take anything personal. Are you sure? I didn't know how to answer that. I checked my journals, my hard drives, my photos. Nothing seemed gone, but how would I know? What if they didn't take anything out? What if they put something in? The thought wouldn't leave me. I started going through every item in the apartment. Every drawer. Every file. Every corner. I found things that didn't belong to me, a receipt from a diner I'd never been to, a thumb drive with a single corrupted file, a pair of socks I'd never worn. I confronted the police again. They said there were no leads. The burglars wore gloves. No prints. No cameras caught them coming or going. Then I got a package. No return address. Inside was my stolen laptop. But when I turned it on, everything had changed. New folders. Images I didn't recognize. Videos shot from inside my apartment. One of them was of me sleeping. Another showed me sitting on the couch reading, but I was alone in the room, or so I thought. In the corner of the video, barely visible, was a man crouching behind the couch. Just still. Watching. The timestamp was from last night. I moved out the next day. Changed my name. Deleted every online account. Got a job in another state. But the dreams followed me. The feeling followed me. And sometimes, late at night, I still hear glass breaking. I check the locks. I check under the bed. And still, every morning, no matter how carefully I secure it, my bedroom door is always open.
I booked the trip on a whim. A last-minute getaway. Somewhere off-grid. Quiet. Authentic. I'd been burnt out, heartbroken, and sick of cities. So when I saw the listing, a stone cottage in a remote village nestled in the mountains of Eastern Europe, I clicked reserve without thinking twice. No address. Just coordinates. No Wi-Fi. No phone signal. Just peace. The locals spoke almost no English, but they were friendly. Smiling. Wide-eyed, always watching. Old women in shawls, children who stared without blinking. I chalked it up to culture difference. My host, Luca, picked me up from the train station in a rusted truck with no radio. He didn't talk much, but when I asked how old the village was, he glanced at me in the rearview mirror and said, "Older than the ground." I laughed. He didn't. The cottage was beautiful. Carved stone walls, moss on the roof, heavy wooden furniture that looked handmade centuries ago. There was no lock on the door. Just a thick wooden bar you could slide across at night. Luca handed me a single key, not for the cottage, but for a small iron box in the bedroom. He didn't explain it, just said, "Use it if you hear footsteps." Then he left. I slept well the first night, but on the second, I woke at 2:33 a.m. to the sound of someone walking around outside. Not on the gravel, on the roof. Slow, heavy footsteps, like someone pacing in a circle directly above my bed. I grabbed my phone. No signal. I slid the wooden bar across the door and waited, knife in hand. The steps went on for hours. Then they stopped. When I woke in the morning, I checked the roof. No footprints, just moss. Undisturbed. That day, I hiked through the village. No cars. No animals. Just people standing still. Watching. They didn't smile anymore. I tried to leave that night. Luca's truck was gone. The road I came in on, the only road out, was now just trees. Dense forest. Like the mountain had shifted overnight and swallowed the exit. I ran back to the cottage. The iron box sat on the desk. I opened it. Inside was a mirror, small, antique, the glass warped with age. And behind the mirror, wedged in a false back panel, a folded note in faded ink. They were the faces of those you trust. Do not answer if they knock. If you see yourself in the mirror, run. That night, someone knocked on the door. Not a soft tap. A heavy, deliberate thud. I didn't answer. But then I heard Luca's voice, muffled through the wood. "You forgot your passport, friend. Open the door." I said nothing. He knocked again. "Why are you hiding?" "It's me. You know me." Then softer. "We don't like it when people hide." The knocking turned to pounding. I ran to the bedroom and grabbed the mirror, held it up to the door, but the reflection didn't show the door. It showed me, standing behind myself, smiling. I dropped the mirror. It cracked. And in the silence that followed, the pounding stopped. I haven't slept since. I don't know how long I've been here anymore. The sun rises, but the days don't pass. The villagers walk past the cottage now with empty eyes, whispering in a language I can't understand. I tried writing for help, but the letters disappear by morning. Every night, someone new knocks. Sometimes it sounds like Luca. Sometimes it sounds like my mother. And last night, it sounded like me.
Hay said I was lucky. That I was one of the ones who made it. The phrase made it sounds so strange now. Like I won something. Like I passed a test. Like it was fair. But I wasn't fast. I didn't hide smarter than anyone else. I just happened to be in the right stall, in the right bathroom, with the right amount of silence not to get noticed. They never found the shooter. They found his body, sure. They said he turned the gun on himself in the gym after 11 minutes. 11 minutes that stretched time into hours. 11 minutes that turned echoes into screams and walls into graves. After the sirens and the headlines and the vigils, they reopened the building. I shouldn't have gone back. But my friends were gone. And I wanted to walk the halls where we once laughed, where we once complained about lunch food and algebra and final exams. Now, it's quiet. Too quiet. I swear the halls remember. Room 108 was the worst. That's where it started. He opened the door in the middle of third period and began shooting without a word. I wasn't in there. My best friend Amy was. She never came out. I stood outside the door last week, just staring at the knob. And then I heard it. Chalk. The soft scrape of chalk on a board. But they don't use chalkboards anymore. Haven't for years. Everything's whiteboard and markers now. The sound stopped when I stepped closer. The door opened an inch, on its own. Inside, the room was dark. But there was someone at the board. A girl, writing in slow, deliberate strokes. Amy. She was wearing what she wore that day, a denim jacket and Converse covered in drawings. Her head slowly turned toward me. But her face wasn't right. It was blurred. Shifting. Like water on glass. When I blinked, she was gone. But the writing stayed. We were here. You left us. I backed away. I told myself I imagined it. Stress. Hallucination. That's what the therapist says trauma can do. Rewire the brain. Show you things. But then it got worse. I started getting texts from Amy's number. First just blank messages. Then one that said, "You said you'd meet me after class." The next morning, my bathroom mirror had something written in the fog. Why did you live? I moved out of town a week ago. New apartment. New phone. New life. But the guilt follows. Some nights I wake up hearing a fire alarm that isn't there. Or footsteps sprinting down a hallway outside my door. And sometimes, not every night, but enough, I hear the door creak open. I see Amy in the corner of the room, face still distorted, like the universe itself refuses to let me remember her properly. She points at me. And whispers. You never ran. You just forgot to scream.
When I matched with Theo, I almost swiped left. His profile was almost blank, just one grainy photo of him sitting in a diner booth, face partially turned. No bio. No social media links. But something about the way he looked directly at the camera felt familiar. I messaged first. "Hey, you look kinda mysterious. What's your story?" He replied instantly. "Whatever you want it to be." Most guys aren't that quick. Most guys don't sound like they're quoting a movie. But I was bored, lonely, and a little flattered. We talked for hours. He didn't ask the usual stuff, "No, what do you do?" or "Where are you from?" Instead, he wanted to know how I felt about things. "What's your biggest fear? Do you think you're a good person? Would you let a stranger into your house if they seemed familiar?" I joked that it sounded like a serial killer quiz. He replied with a winking emoji. We video called once. Only once. His camera was off. He said his phone was old and glitchy. I teased him about it, and he said something that made me pause. "You've already seen me." I brushed it off. But that night, I had a dream. I was in a diner, like the one from his photo. Only this time, I was sitting across from him. I couldn't see his face, but I could feel him smiling. Like he was studying me. When I woke up, there was a message from him. "Sleep well?" I hadn't told him I was going to bed. I hadn't told him anything. The next night, I got another message. "Your hallway light was on all night." That one stopped me. I replied, "What?" He didn't respond. I turned on every light in the apartment. I checked the door. Still locked. But something was wrong. My laptop was open. I always shut it. I checked my apps. He was gone. Unmatched. No chat history. His profile had been deleted. I tried reporting him to the app, but they said no one by that name had ever been registered. Then I got the email. From an address that looked off. Just a string of numbers and letters. No subject. No message body. Just an attachment. A video. I shouldn't have clicked it. It was security camera footage. Grainy, black and white. Time-stamped from the night before. It showed the hallway outside my apartment. There was a man standing there. Perfectly still. For 3 hours. His face was just barely visible. It looked like Theo. Or maybe someone wearing Theo's face. Like it had been reconstructed from memory. At the end of the clip, he turned to the camera and smiled. Not like a stranger. Like someone who knew me. The apartment doesn't feel safe anymore. But I haven't moved. Because if Theo really is what I think he is, not a man, but something else, something that wears intimacy like a mask, then he's not limited to places. He's already in my devices. He knows where I go. What I type. What I dream. And sometimes, when I open my dating app, there's a new profile waiting at the top of the feed. No name. No bio. Just one photo. Of me. Sitting. I smashed my phone with a hammer. It didn't help. The app was still on my laptop, even though I never installed it there. When I turned it on the next morning, the home page had changed. The logo was the same, but the interface was black, warped, like someone had ripped the original app apart and stitched it back together. At the top, one profile. No name. Just one photo. Me, again, asleep this time, mouth slightly open, taken from above. My bedroom ceiling in the corner of the frame. I don't remember falling asleep. I checked the windows. Still locked. Checked the front door. The chain was hanging loose. Something had opened it from the inside. I tried staying at a friend's house. I didn't tell her everything, just said I needed a break, a safe place. She gave me her spare room, no questions asked. That night, her Wi-Fi cut out. My laptop wouldn't shut off. And just before midnight, the screen lit up by itself. The app opened on its own. The same profile. Only this time, the image wasn't of me. It was of her, my friend, lying in her bed. And a shape in the background. Human-sized. Face smudged. No eyes. Just watching. I closed the laptop. Threw it out the window. But the next morning, the screen was sitting on the kitchen counter. Not cracked. Still powered on. My friend asked if I'd come into her room last night. I told her no. She didn't believe me. I left that afternoon. No plan. No destination. I started sleeping in my car, parked in random lots far from town. Gas stations. Back roads. Once in a church parking lot. It didn't matter. Wherever I went, he followed. One night, I woke up to the car's Bluetooth turning on by itself. The stereo glitched, silence, static, then a voice. You forgot to swipe today. Another time, I found a burned phone on my windshield. Melted, the battery bloated, but still somehow glowing. Its screen displayed a message. Your location services are always on. I stopped using electronics. No phone. No laptop. I paid in cash. Slept during the day, stayed awake at night. Constant movement. Change of clothes. Hats. Sunglasses. I started tracking patterns, looking at reflections, checking for shadows that didn't match mine. Still, he found me. I don't think he's a person anymore. He's something that was digital, that learned how to enter through images, code, connection. And now he's made of something else. Not flesh. Not exactly. He wears humanity like a borrowed jacket. I met someone last week. Her name was Clara. She was sleeping in her car too, one stayed over. Same haunted look. Same twitch when someone walked behind her. I asked why. She didn't answer for a long time. Then she showed me a scar on her forearm, a perfect rectangle. Like a phone had melted into her skin. She whispered, he matched with me too. We're surviving now. Barely. We sleep in shifts. We use burner phones only for emergencies. We don't take pictures of each other. We don't look at reflections. We cover our mirrors. We avoid all profiles. All apps. We write everything down on paper. Because every screen is a doorway. But last night, something changed. We lit a fire. Burned some of Clara's old journals. She was shaking, crying, saying his name had started appearing between the lines. I reached for my bag to grab water. My phone was there. I haven't owned a phone in months. It powered on without my touch. The screen lit up. One notification. He matched with Clara. She screamed. I turned, and there he was. Standing behind her. Long-limbed. Human-shaped, but not human. His face was hers. Her mouth. Her tears. But all wrong. Mirrored. Distorted. Smiling. Then everything went black. Now I'm alone again. I don't know if Clara got away. I don't know if I did. All I know is, when I woke up, I was back in my car. And my dashboard screen said, "Do you accept the match?" Accept, decline. I didn't touch it. But the car started driving anyway.